Good morning. It's Friday, April 17th. Here's what we're working on. Police are now investigating allegations of missing money at two different Hamilton BIAs.
I'm Emily Huang reporting live on Hamilton Mountain, where one of the city's municipal golf courses is set to open for the season. We'll have that story coming up.
And the NHL's regular season comes to an end.
It is finally Friday.
Yes.
And we are happy.
And you know what else finally?
Yeah.
We can kick away the showers for the day.
Oh.
I just thought this was the new normal now. It's always going to
It's
rain.
getting to be, showers, more showers. The showers will come back tomorrow, so you got to get outside and enjoy it today because we will have sunshine for today.
Awesome.
Yes, finally. We'll get some sun. Temperature will be above seasonal still, but a little bit cooler than we got to yesterday. Yesterday we got to 21 with a humidex of 26, so it was a warm day yesterday. But today we'll have the sun. Temperature about 17 degrees, which is still lovely for this time of year, above seasonal. We'll have light winds. There's just a little bit of fog, a little bit of mist this morning, but nowhere near what we had yesterday morning when you couldn't even see the road there looking at our camera. So looks good today. Tomorrow, though, showers, thunderstorms as the cold front approaches, and you're really going to notice the difference after the cold front goes through, and we'll talk about that coming up. Traffic this morning, quick check, 403 Waterdown Road as usual on a Friday morning. It's doing fine. We'll check some MTO traffic cameras, see if we can spot anything, and there's really nothing going on. Centennial Parkway is doing fine, top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge. Here's east of 4th going from Burlington to Oakville. Toronto-bound lanes heading away from us. A little wet on the roads through there. We did have some showers in the overnight. All right, we'll look at the forecast, of course, in detail coming up, and we'll check traffic as well. Right now, the news.
Thanks, Brian. Hamilton police are investigating allegations that a second business improvement association in the city has misused funding. It comes after the Ottawa Street BIA removed Michael Carruth as the board chair this week due to the suspected misuse of BIA funds. The association says so-called financial irregularities were discovered by their accountant, and the board immediately notified police and the city. Carruth owns the now shuttered Down the Street food company on Ottawa Street. The investigation comes just months after the city's integrity commissioner alleged the former treasurer of the King West BIA misused $18,500 from the association. Police say those allegations are also currently under investigation.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford has nixed the idea of banning surveillance pricing for groceries. That's where companies use personal data like your browsing history, location and purchase behavior, and AI to set customized prices. Surveillance pricing can identify a person's willingness to pay, and that can result in different prices for different people. Food distribution professor Sylvain Charlebois doesn't think surveillance pricing is happening at grocery stores when you shop in person. However,
it could be happening online though, but online purchasing when it comes to food is very minimal. It's 3.5 to 4%, but it is a threat. It is a possibility down the road using AI that perhaps grocers will be using surveillance pricing over time.
Manitoba has introduced a ban for surveillance pricing on groceries, calling it predatory pricing for food.
Ontario is planning to prioritize medical residency positions for applicants with a connection to the province. The proposal would ensure a dedicated first-round stream for international medical graduates who attended an Ontario high school or university or who lived in Ontario for at least 24 weeks in the year preceding their application. Health Minister Sylvia Jones says they want to prioritize Ontarians, including those who may have left to study medicine abroad but want to return home to practice. She says the legislation would be in line with approaches in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island.
The Ontario government is boosting its funding for Indigenous post-secondary schools. It's putting $57 million in 9 Indigenous educational institutions across Ontario. This is to create more spots in market-driven programs. It could be a focus on healthcare, education, trades, transportation, STEM, and Indigenous languages. It all depends on community demand. The money will help the schools plan for the future.
But it took us this long to actually get systemic funding put in place. There's been funding every year, but to have predictable funding like this is a game changer, really, because now we can plan for a 2-year program and know we're going to have funding for the second year. Before, we weren't always sure of that.
That's Rebecca Jamieson, the former president of Six Nations Polytechnic in Brantford. She says enrollment is up more than 30% at all 9 Indigenous post-secondary schools in Ontario.
Overseas, a 10-day ceasefire agreed on by Lebanon and Israel appears to be holding this morning. There is some relief from residents in Lebanon, but any hope for peace is being tempered by the destruction that many encountered upon returning to their homes. Meanwhile, some say the new agreement could bolster attempts to extend the ceasefire between Iran, the U.S. and Israel after weeks of war.
Canada Post is starting to divert more home mail delivery to community mailboxes. Over the next 5 years, it's going to convert 4 million addresses across the country. In Ontario, it's starting with a number of postal codes in Etobicoke and Ottawa that are still getting door-to-door delivery. There are 2 of 13 communities in Canada changing over this year and next. Most of those addresses are next to those already having their mail delivered to community boxes.
The federal Conservatives accusing Mark Carney's governments of blocking a committee probe into Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne and his connection to the Alto Rail project. Champagne's partner works as a vice president at the Crown Corporation behind the $90 billion line. Tory MP Michael Barrett says Liberal MPs have filibustered more than 12 hours to avoid a vote on calling witnesses. Champagne's office says he followed ethics rules and recused himself despite no formal conflict risk. Opposition MPs could still force a vote, but Liberal majority control may soon reshape committees.
In their first news conference after the Artemis II mission, Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen says he and the NASA astronauts he went up with seeing the Earth from space underline the importance of all of them working together.
The sense I had was this sense of fragility and feeling small, infinitesimally small, but yet this very powerful feeling as a human being, like as a group. And that is what, to me, is what I would try to share. I saw it in all these sites over and over again. I kept seeing that same thing and that same feeling, small and powerless, but yet powerful together.
NASA says it achieved its mission's primary objectives. That included manually piloting the Orion spacecraft and safely re-entering the atmosphere. The crew says they're thrilled by the mission's outcome, and they're optimistic about the Artemis program's lofty goals for the future of human space exploration. Well, it is tea time. The City of Hamilton's public golf courses open for the season this morning. Emily Wong joins us from Shidok Civic Golf Club.
All the golfers out there, it's time to dust off your clubs and get ready to hit the green. Shidok and Kings Forest golf courses in Hamilton will be open for the season as of 8 a.m. this morning. Now, we are currently on the Shidok Martin course. This is one of the oldest municipal courses in the country after Hamilton City Council decided to purchase what used to be a private club back in 1924. The Shidok Civic Golf Club celebrated their centennial in 2024. The course we're on right now is named after the club's first president, George Martin, whose vision was to make the sport more affordable to the working man. Here at Shidok Martin, average weekday green fees are $34. That goes up to $55 on weekends. Still below market price when you consider private course prices. Of course, that depends on how many holes you play. Juniors and seniors receive a discount, with prices varying depending on the day of the week. Of course, weekends are a little bit more expensive. And there are twilight specials for tee times after 6 p.m. as well. And there are membership options offering unlimited golf at discounted rates and advanced booking. And if you're unfamiliar with the sport and the dress code, just head over to the city's website and give it a read. And today is the official season opening for the Shidok and Kings Forest courses. But for the Shidok course, it is just the Martin course that's opening today. The Bedeau course will be expected to open next Friday. For now, I'll send things back to you in the studio, Annette.
Okay, love the microphone there, Emily. Thank you. A CFL free agent has been suspended for violating the league's gender-based violence policy. Receiver Aju will miss the entire CFL preseason and at least 6 regular season games. The CFL says a third-party investigation found Aju engaged in aggressive and unwelcome physical contact with multiple women in a Regina restaurant last November. Aju spent last season with the Grey Cup champion Saskatchewan Roughriders, but was released by the team.
After missing the playoffs for the first time in a decade, the Maple Leafs faced the media and offered their thoughts on the season.
I come in here daily and I see guys doing what they're supposed to be doing and working hard in practice, and you know, the room is really good. The guys are good with each other. The culture's good around here. I mean, did they translate to the ice? No, it didn't.
You know, this was a tough year. It was a frustrating year. You know, we didn't meet the goals or the expectations that we set out at the start. You know, and ultimately, that's on me.
Toronto finished last in the Atlantic Division and 28th in the 32-team NHL. The Leafs will spend the offseason searching for a new general manager and preparing to flip the script when the 2026-27 season begins in October. You can scratch at least one name off the list of potential GMs for the Leafs. Sonny Mehta, who was believed to be in the running for Toronto's vacant general manager job, has been named the new GM in New Jersey. The 48-year-old spent the last 6 years with the Florida Panthers, including the last 3 as assistant GM and head of analytics. NHL's regular season came to a close last night, and the Oilers are heading into the playoffs on a high note. Matt Savoy scored his first career hat-trick in Edmonton's 6-1 win over Vancouver. Meantime, 19-year-old Macklin Celebrini scored his 45th goal of the season and added 2 assists to lead the Sharks to a 6-1 win over Winnipeg. And with 115 points on the year, Celebrini broke Joe Thornton's franchise record for most points in a season. Edmonton's Connor McDavid had 4 assists last night to clinch his 6th Art Ross trophy as the league's points leader with 138. And Colorado's Nathan MacKinnon will take home the Rocket Richard trophy for the first time in his career after leading the NHL with 53 goals. Stanley Cup playoff bracket is now set. 3 Canadian teams will try to end our country's 33-year championship drought starting tomorrow. The Oilers will take on Anaheim in round 1. The Canadiens will meet Tampa Bay, and Ottawa faces Carolina. The Brewers used small ball to beat the Blue Jays. Milwaukee executed 3 straight bunts in the bottom of the 7th inning to score the winning run in a 2-1 win over Toronto yesterday. The 7-11 Jays have lost 5 straight series and are in last in the American League East. Meantime, the Dodgers shattered Major League Baseball's spending record in 2025. Final figures from the commissioner's office show the club spent $515 million in payroll and luxury tax last year, en route to their 2nd straight World Series title. That's 7 times the $68.7 million payroll of the Miami Marlins, the lowest spending team. The Blue Jays had the 5th highest payroll last year at $253 million. Hamilton Tiger Cats have signed former Utah Utes running back Mekhi Bernard. The 24-year-old attended camp with the Tennessee Titans and New England Patriots last year. Bernard will be in the mix to replace the departed Greg Bell. After failing to stick south of the border, quarterback Taylor Elgersma has signed with the Blue Bombers. The 24-year-old London native was in training camp with the Packers last year and then joined Birmingham in the United Football League, but did not appear in any games because of problems with his work visa. Winnipeg took Elgersma in the 2025 CFL draft. Still with the CFL, the Red Blacks have released longtime kicker Lewis Ward and have signed former Rough Riders kicker Brett Lowther. And the Niagara Ice Dogs have parted ways with general manager Frank Evola.
Okay, here we are, 14 minutes after 6 o'clock. It is Friday. Yay. We've made it to the 17th of April already. Ooh, look at the light in the sky. Sunrise getting earlier all the time now. First of all, it's traffic. 403 and Waterdown Road, our exclusive camera is doing fine. We don't have any problems on the 403 at all, and actually around Hamilton, nothing. So let's go to some MTO traffic cameras into St. Catharines. First of all, Garden City Skyway, we'll start there, and then we'll come up around to Centennial Parkway. today. Here's east of Brant, so coming around the bend at Brant Street, doing fine through Burlington. Oakville, nothing. And we'll flip ahead to Mississauga. Well, just about Toronto, QEW 427. Gardner combination is nothing there either. So temperature this morning. Let's see how we're starting out the morning. We did have a little bit of mist, but now it's fairly cloudy. But the temperature still in double digits, 11 degrees. We're a little cooler than we were yesterday morning. Light breezes, high relative humidity. That's why we had that mist a little earlier today. And for school today, we should hit 17 degrees, so still above seasonal. And we should see more sunshine as the day progresses. So Hamilton, it'll be a mix of sun and clouds. Other areas, a bit more cloud cover, but at least the winds will be light. What we have is that little break between the showers. So enjoy that for the day today, because tomorrow that cold front is going to drop its way across us, and that's going to bring us showers, possible thunderstorms. We could get a fair bit of precipitation once again for the day tomorrow, particularly in heavy downpours with thunderstorms. But today, temperatures anywhere from 17 in Hamilton to 20 for Brantford, Kitchener, and Guelph. So a nice mild day. We'll get some sunshine for the day, which will be nice for a change. Tonight, we'll start to see a little bit of cloud cover, but fog will descend. Temperatures 8 to 10 degrees tonight. And then tomorrow, we'll get the clouds, we'll get the showers, 10 to 15 millimeters, quite possible. Temperatures anywhere from 17 to 19 to 21 for the day tomorrow. So temperature out the door this morning, the 17th of April, we're sitting right now at 11 degrees, and we do have fairly cloudy skies. We will check the long range forecast, and I will warn you, we do have the F word in the forecast long range. We'll talk about that coming up.
Coming up, cancellations of flights out of European countries could come just as the busy summer travel season approaches. More on that in a moment. 6:18 on your Friday morning. Checking the markets. The dollar is up slightly to 73.10 cents U.S. Gold is down $3 an ounce, and oil is down $1.53 U.S. a barrel. In midday European trading, London is down, while Frankfurt and Paris are both slightly up.
Asian markets were all down today, with Tokyo dropping more than 1,000 points. At close yesterday, the TSX was down, while the Dow and Nasdaq posted moderate gains.
A global energy watchdog says Europe has only 6 weeks' worth of jet fuel left due to the Iran war and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. The International Energy Agency says to watch for flight cancellations if the regular flow of oil from the Middle East is not restored soon. Dutch airline KLM says it was canceling 160 European flights due to fuel costs, not a shortage of fuel. The reductions are happening as the busy summer travel season is just weeks away.
PepsiCo says making its snacks more affordable helped to boost its first quarter earnings. It's the maker of Doritos, Lay's, and Cheetos. PepsiCo lowered the prices on those chips a couple of months ago, about 15%. It says it wants to appeal to customers who are facing financial strain, and it seems to have worked. PepsiCo has reported an 8.5% increase in revenue for the quarter.
Netflix co-founder Reed Hastings is stepping down as chairman of the streamer's board of directors this summer. Netflix announced his decision in the company's first quarter earnings results yesterday. Hastings' term expires in June. He stepped down as Netflix co-CEO less than 3 years ago. Exit also comes less than 2 months after the company exited the bidding war for Warner Brothers Discovery, which is CNN's parent company. Hastings founded Netflix in 1997, and the company has gone on to transform the entertainment industry.
Donald Trump's plan to build a White House ballroom has hit another snag. A U.S. federal judge has ordered a pause on construction, accusing the president of trying to circumvent an earlier ruling. It had said that the ballroom was being built unlawfully because U.S. Congress hadn't expressly approved it. In his order, the judge rejected Trump's claim that the ballroom project has to go ahead for national security reasons. The judge says crews can still work on the bunker that's being built as part of this White House renovation, but construction on the ballroom above will have to wait for congressional approval.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Brian is going to return with an update on your drive into work this morning and your 7-day weather forecast. Good morning.
Good morning, 6:24 on this Friday morning, the 17th of April. Looking good on our MTO traffic cameras. I haven't been able to spot anything. The Skyways are doing fine. The Garden City Skyway, the Burlington Skyway on the Hamilton side, light volume all the way through east of 4th. It is getting a little bit busy here. This is the Lorne Park camera, so Toronto-bound lanes coming towards us, heading toward Mississauga Road, but it's a little slow through there. Not a lot going on at the 403 in Dundas Street. 403 is moving quite nicely so far today. Our temperature this morning, double digits for Hamilton, as we're about 10 minutes to sunrise this morning, and we will see some today. So 11 for Hamilton, Mississauga, 12 Toronto, 9 into Grimsby this morning. So seasonal temperatures this time of year are 12 for the daytime high. Keep in mind we got to 21 yesterday, and 2 for the overnight low. Sun time, sunrise this morning, 6:34, goes down at 8:04, records for today. 10 degrees for the first bell this morning, and 17 for after school. We'll see sun. A bit of sunshine this morning, and then a bit more sunshine for the afternoon. But here's the long-range forecast. So today, 17 degrees, mix of sun and clouds, light winds, fairly nice day for this time of year. 10 for tonight as we get some fog patches developing tomorrow. Showers and thunderstorms, and temperature of 19 degrees. We could get 10 to 15 millimeters as that cold front goes through, and then look what happens to the temperature on Sunday. High of only 6 degrees. We do have some showers. And then the overnight low is going to be -4, and once that temperature starts to come up to +4 only on Monday, there's that F word. Flurries in the forecast. Oh dear. Then it'll be showers. Temperatures will recover, but yeah, we've got a pretty cool day on Monday and 4 degrees only. It's forecast, Annette, right?
Thanks, Brian. There is a rare artifact up for auction that was once part of the RMS Titanic.
It's the only survivor's life jacket to appear at auction. It was first worn by 22-year-old first-class passenger Laura Mabel Francatelli, and it was signed by everyone in her lifeboat. It's expected to sell for the equivalent of $650,000 Canadian at auction in the UK this weekend. This week marked 114 years since the sinking of the Titanic, described as being unsinkable on its maiden voyage.
Wow, that is a fascinating artifact.
And the fact that it was signed.
Yeah, by everyone in the lifeboat. I wonder if she did that like days later, weeks later? That night? No. Who had a Sharpie back then?
Yeah, who had a Sharpie? Did they have Sharpies then?
I don't think so. Yeah. Stay with us. More to come after the break here on Morning Live.